Welcome back to Smash and Heads Podcast. This is our recap for All Stars 2, Episode 5. My name is Zach, and I'm joined by my wife, Hannah.
Hi.
And my best friend, Jake.
How's everybody doing tonight?
This is take 2 of the open. Take 1
two.
is in the...
I was wondering if you were going to say that.
It's in the vault that will never be released again.
Because I was actually going to change up my open a little bit and go take 2. How do you do?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have done that. I changed.
Well,
I changed mine from hey to hi.
Well, we're not going to say what was said, but we're just going to say
it's my fault.
It's literally not. It couldn't be any less of your fault. It was 100% Hannah said something that we had to take out of the episode, and that's all that you're going to get out of it.
I'm just guns a-blazing tonight.
I'll take the fall.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why you're wanting it.
Hey, Jake's my best friend, and he'll take the fall for me.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, it was 100% your fault and not Jake.
Well, Jake's willing to fall on the sword for me.
I've fallen on plenty of swords in my lifetime. Some hurt worse than others. This one I can manage.
This one's probably hurts the least.
Yeah.
What's that? What's that song? What hurts the most?
Hurts the most.
I know that little opening guitar lick.
It's Rascal Flatts.
Oh, is it? That's why.
Yeah, that's them rascals over in the flats.
I think they all live in
over
Nashville.
on Route 66.
Right.
Route
66.
Do they have a song about Route 66? Then
No way.
where'd that come from?
Definitely not the theme song for Cars.
Was that it?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Cars is the worst Pixar franchise there is.
Not a good concept.
Yeah,
they screwed
Are
that
they
up.
the ones that made airplanes?
No, that was Disney, but it wasn't Pixar. But it looked enough like Cars that it was a money grab.
I also think it was just called Planes.
What you
I
say?
mean,
Airplanes.
Airplane is a movie from the 70s.
Airplane is a movie.
Yeah,
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
sure.
John
Let's
Candy.
keep going.
Well, we did this last episode. I started calling off all the music bands that I knew with numbers in them. I called out S Club 7, and we started talking about S Club 7. Guess who makes a song appearance in tonight's episode? S Club 7.
Blur did too. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the band.
Yeah, life's been a blur.
Yeah.
Well, let's watch them talk about planes, trains, and automobiles next episode.
They won't.
It'll happen.
This is our recap, obviously, for Spies, Lies, and Out. No, it's not. That's
It's not. You're
later.
at the wrong show.
Yeah, All Star. It's hard to record 2 simultaneous seasons at a time while also watching Survivor as well. So sometimes things happen, but we got it all straight. I just get the names confused sometimes.
We got one more to go.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back into Survivor, though.
Probably 2 more, for being honest.
Well, it's really our call.
It is our call, but
Yeah.
we need
It is.
to.
We owe it to the
We're not.
people.
If let's just put this out here right now. If Spies, Lies, and Allies is a 2-part finale, we're just gonna watch it all and then do one podcast. We're not doing a 2-part finale podcast.
2-part finale. Haven't we already started the finale?
I meant reunion. That's what I meant. I meant reunion. I just got in my head about it. A 2-part reunion.
Your words are coming out weird tonight.
He's kind of all over the place tonight, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm the one that had to restart the show. So,
But I'm not out of my mind tonight
Well,
like you are.
I've fallen on a sword, so.
that's true. So,
You could be incapacitated soon.
All Stars episode 5. I will say towards the end of the episode, there may be slight casting spoilers for All Stars 3, and I'll warn ahead of time and just say skip ahead like 30 seconds, but it's pertinent to the episode tonight.
Wait, do I get to skip ahead 30 seconds?
Because
You have to be a part of this.
I don't ever like cast spoilers.
Well,
Can I leave the room? I don't want to hear.
No, you got to suffer
No,
through it.
I don't want
He's
to.
going to strap you in.
You made us. You
I
made us.
don't want cast
You made us
spoilers.
restart the show, so we gotta go through
No.
it. So we'll get to that later. But again, Patreon.com/SmashingHeads Podcast. Another Survivor watch along drops tomorrow, actually.
Oh, God.
And then we're getting close to the finale on that season. It's
Who do you think's going to win?
I,
Who you put your money on?
I put my money on Tony just based on what we've seen. I genuinely don't know.
I feel like the rest of the crew that's left is going to turn on Tony.
But I believe,
and I could see TCAP winning.
I don't remember how Survivor works. If I believe the tribal council that's been kicked off, that comes back, like Hot Morgan and them, I believe they vote on who should win the money at the end.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But I think Big Brother does that too.
But Tony,
So weird.
Tony
I don't like
has
that.
burned
Like,
so many
I know,
people.
but that's why Josh won Big Brother, is because they were like, they just hated the other guy so much more.
I think Spencer could win.
It's possible. I mean, Spencer hasn't burned the bridges like Tony has.
Yeah.
Tony's burned all the bridges.
So we'll see. We're getting there. But this is on Paramount Plus, like Survivor is, and if you're not watching the show but you're listening to these, that's a weird move. So stop it. Get some help and watch All Stars 2 because it's great. I saw some people in our Slack group saying they think All Stars 1 as a whole is better. I like this season a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
I like it, but I think so far I would put season 1.
I think we need to have it as a whole first, like see like the entirety of 2, and then can kind of compare them like apples to apples.
Yeah, I like the free agent style of this season.
And I do like. Well, I think last season was like that too.
Was it?
Yeah, like daily.
Well, I think it was like eliminations. Like if
they were partnered eliminations.
Yeah,
which I didn't like.
I like the elimination style here, where if you're voted in or you're last place for the daily, if you're going in, the other person going in
doesn't affect
you.
I do agree with that.
So like your survival and elimination is solely on you and not on anybody else, and you're not dragging anybody else with you.
Well, we start this episode basically just with a party.
Tyler's cousin made a reappearance.
Yeah, Tyler was in drag again, just out there. But like, it was like it didn't show him like that at first, and then like they just cut, and there was like just a random like one-off shot, and you're like, oh well, he completely changed, and he that's his party persona, I guess.
It's fun.
What was the name?
That's what I was about to ask. What was the name?
It starts with a T, didn't it? It's from like 4 episodes ago. I don't remember.
Give me a second.
I don't have. She has her notes all in one big note, and mine are all per episode.
That can all run together.
Yeah.
No.
So, this is where we get the initial talk, I guess, which was a kind of a pervasive theme through this episode.
I didn't have her name. It was episode 2.
I have it,
and I just have a note saying Tyler invites his second cousin.
Yeah. Anyway, this is where we get the 3 kings talk. There may have been some talk of an alliance last episode, but I don't believe they had labeled themselves, had they?
No.
This was the first I'd heard of it, but every single said.
By the way, Tyler's cousin was Tundra.
Okay. That's right. They said 3 kings so many times in this episode, and every single time, my mind just started playing "We 3 Kings," the Christmas song.
What?
You know the Christmas song "We 3 Kings." It's an old one.
I don't know.
Hold on.
We can't play it.
No, we can't play it. We can't play it, so I have to look up the lyrics.
So yeah, that's where this all started, and it's Nehemiah, Tech, and Latarian, which even though Nehemiah took out Tech last season, he said he was kind of trying to right that ship. He used his life shield for him once already.
The chorus is, "Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright."
Is that song called "We 3 Kings"?
Yes.
I mean, I know
Westward
that song,
leading,
but
still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. We 3 kings, we 3 kings. But every single time they said the 3 kings in the palace, it's just like background music in my brain.
Well, they
Do
called.
you get that?
No.
That happens to me constantly.
Like
I can hear other things, but it's almost like elevator music volume, where it's just there in the background.
I think you have a brain disorder.
No, I don't.
That was too long of a delay in that response.
Do you have conversations in your brain?
That's a whole nother subject. There are like there's a whole.
I think out loud to myself.
Yeah, but there
I
are.
don't do that. I have full on conversations.
But
in my mind.
that's not strange. But there are people who do not have an inner voice at all, and that's very strange to me.
I have loud inner voice.
Well, I'm not saying that. That sounds like
just
you're schizophrenic.
Just one.
Yeah. But like there's people who don't have any sort of inner voice that's like, oh, I wonder if I should like go to the store now, or like that doesn't happen. Like which is strange.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't imagine. What is it? Silence?
Well, I mean, you've got music going on in the background of yours.
Yeah, my brain is loud. Do you ever like if you get frustrated with yourself, like your inner voice, like your brain voice starts yelling at you and calling you stupid?
No.
Because mine
No.
does. I'll get frustrated and like I hear, "Come on, quit doing this. This is so stupid. Quit being dumb."
No, I'll outright say it. Like, what are you doing, Jake?
Yeah, he.
I don't
yells
say
to
it
the
out loud.
universe about
I
himself.
like
Yeah.
I hear my brain saying it in my brain.
I think you guys both need to go talk to somebody.
I already see
fine.
someone.
Well, here
Two
we
very
go.
different
We had
answers
very
at that.
different answers.
Well, Steve,
Maybe you should try seeing one.
I'm good.
Steve's part of the Three Kings, even though he'd be the fourth. But he's kind of like a.
He's the outlier.
Yeah, he's
he's
like-
not quite in it
I was
because
gonna
they
say-
talked
I was
about
gonna
how
say
like
the jester, but he's not. He's not that because he's not the entertainer guy.
he's the. I almost said Joker. Is that the same thing?
Well, I mean, the Joker's a Batman villain.
It's also in a deck of cards.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Hold on, it left me.
Your music's too loud.
No, my brain was thinking the sentence and then it stopped halfway through and I don't remember what I was
So
going to say.
now do you only hear "You're so stupid"? You're stupid.
No, it's all like white noise right now because I'm trying to like part through the waters and find what thought left me.
I got to tell you, I don't know what's
I
happening.
don't
right
either.
now.
Let's dial that back. Tina and Casey had a nice little Fresh Meat 1 reunion talk kind of thing.
I didn't realize they had the same first season. No,
That was not Tina's first season.
it was Casey's first season, and
Yes.
that's how they knew each other.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Whoa,
I'm working
boy.
through it.
You sure
Oh my
are.
god.
Well,
There's a lot happening in your brain.
I don't
right
know
now,
how to
Ian.
pivot to the next point, which obviously the heavy part of the episode. Melinda was talking to John A. and MJ, and she says, I believe she said that day was
The next
supposed
day.
okay, when they were supposed to have their daily.
The daily day.
Was supposed to be her, I believe she said C-section date for a baby that she lost. And so it was obviously a very emotional day. I've had very close family members that have dealt with that numerous times. I know it takes out a lot on people. And I mean, honestly, good for Melinda for being able to like have the strength to go out and do a show. Because it's not even being away from a show like this for like 10 years, just coming back to it. We'll see with Tina, like getting back in that environment is a whole nother thing, but like also doing it pretty soon after a very traumatic experience. And maybe that's why she's like, this will kind of help distract me or a little bit. But I mean, obviously that day was going to be rough no matter where you're at for her.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think miscarriage is talked about enough out loud. And so the stigma is if you have a miscarriage, like you have to keep it hidden and like a secret from everyone. I mean,
It should
obviously
be.
I've never gone through one, but I know that my mom has.
I mean, my sister has multiple times. My first cousins have. Like it happens more, I guess, than people talk about.
It's 1 in 4 pregnancies.
See, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
It happens a lot, and like so, a lot of people are dealing with it. So I mean, it is good of Melinda to like bring that to light and say like, it's okay to be open about it and be vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
about it and just like work through the process of it. But it did help. Like she had MJ and John A there who were like super like supportive of her and like trying to give her all the support she needed. And I was like, well, that's that Nashville hospitality because that's where they both live now.
Yeah.
And,
Nothing quite like it.
It's stuff like that. Like, I don't know if we would have saw that on the main show. Like, I don't know if like that like All Stars just they hit like emotional moments and then like fun moments and stuff in a way that I feel like with the newer seasons, it's like it has to be drama or very intense at all times. Like it can't just be like a real like just a conversation in the house.
It's almost like the main show has been so game and strategy and politicking oriented that we get to these throwback cast members in All Stars, and it's almost like a breath of fresh air where we get back the reality, the real part of the reality TV that we're watching. Like, these are real people
Yeah.
who go through real struggles in real life because they're human too.
Yeah, and I mean, it does set up, obviously we didn't know Melinda was going into an elimination at the end of this episode. You got something?
Yeah, I was just. I mean,
You just had your mouth open and like.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've never experienced. I mean, obviously, I've never experienced personally, but I can't imagine just the concept because you have this expectation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just gone, and I can't imagine because you develop love for this being before it's even outside of the womb. You know?
A guy we all know who I went to Memphis with before we recorded last time, he was talking to me about, and he just asked. We're pretty close, and he knows we don't have kids, and I was like, it's not really something like we're interested in, and he is like, he's like, I love my kids. He's got 2. He's like, but honestly, he's like, I wouldn't want to go through pregnancy again. He's like, just because every bit of it is so stressful, and he's like, and we had actually really easy going pregnancies, like, so I know we were very lucky, but he's like, every time we would go to the doctor, he's like, I would just be like, okay, well, what's wrong now? And he's like, there never was. He's like, but you just have that like underlying feeling because this happens so often.
That fear and anxiety.
Yeah, and he's
statistics
like,
are so high.
He was just like, for like 9 months, you're just like on edge at all times, and I was like, man, like that, that's not anything that I want to, to have to think about right now. And so, like, again, like I think this is the type of thing that MTV has not done with some of the others, like real world situations in the newer seasons. Like, let people talk about things, let it be a little bit messy and like vulnerable, and like let people learn. And so it took Melinda a lot of courage, because she could have been on the show and we could have found out later that, oh, this happened. She didn't have to talk about it on camera. And
I think it was really brave of her to do so.
I appreciate that she was open about that. So we get into the daily. It's called Bounce Back.
It's a fun little daily, man.
That's what I said. I the first note
I liked it.
I said, I was like, I like this daily in concept. I was like, we'll see how it works out, and it worked out fine.
Just fun.
I liked it. It was
good
fun.
Daily.
A little bit of danger, not too much.
Individual game, so you're not relying on anybody else. Basically, you hop up like 5-6 trampolines, and then you have to knock off these number wheel block things, and then swim back and put them up and solve some math problems. So it's a good mix of like physical, a little bit of heights to scare you, and then a mental part at the end. And so Casey was one of the first people to go, and then she got her first block and then just couldn't get any more. And every time
she was jumping up and then just high-fiving.
Well, she's doing one hand, and like every time she missed, like everyone on the beach was like so deflated. They're like, "Oh no."
It's kind of weird, wasn't it?
No.
It was like everybody was rooting for her. And the thing was, like after a couple tries of her not getting it down, you could just look at her and tell she was starting to get defeated, and the whole house was trying to cheer her up, cheer her on, like, hey, you can do this.
They were invested in her.
And she got so mad about it.
She did.
Mad enough that she quit because of it.
Well, and she said, all these people cheered me on, all these a-holes, and I was like, well, what do you want them to do?
Yeah, they're cheering you on.
TJ said, you hear that airplane? That's the one you're on next. And I was like, that's
you're on the next one out.
He said, that's the one you're on next.
Oh.
I wrote the quote.
That's a weird way of saying it.
Well, again, it's spur of the moment. Like, I give him the effort. Like, you got to give him an A for an effort on that. And then, I didn't go through everybody's individual thing.
S Club 7.
But I did have S Club 7 bring it all back. And one of the guys in our Slack group is from the UK, and he's like, it's really weird that they're using all these, like, British bands. And I was like, well, every song they've played so far has, like, it was a hit in the US, too.
Major hit.
I mean, my fantasy football team's been called S Club 7 in a league going back to how long ago?
You ain't been in it for like 3 years.
I know, but like I was.
This is like our 11th, 12th year.
Yeah,
feels like.
But I was in it for a long time, and that name is on the trophy. S Club 7 won it, and so yeah, they play that. In the middle of all this, we find out Alyana says she's going to use her life shield on Tech, which. I guess I didn't realize that they had any sort of a connection.
I had no idea.
Ion is apparently a wild card. Like, let's just be honest. Like, we've seen a turn from one episode to the next. I've seen some quotes from people that were on this season with her that have said she's the most difficult person I've ever lived with in my whole life.
I can totally see it.
That's never anything you want said about you.
And it's like, it was like, I believe, don't quote me on this, it was like Jody, who's like one of the most mild-mannered people on the show. And I've seen, like, they're like, I would never want to do another show with her. Now, I'm not saying Jody said that, but I've seen stuff like that before. And so she's got to be something.
Well,
you know,
I think everybody did a pretty good job on this daily. Melinda had a weird technique where she, on one of her puzzle pieces, she actually grabbed the wire instead of the actual puzzle piece. And that made her fall in the water weird. And then she ends up medically DQ'd because she like can't breathe.
Yeah, I wonder if she got just the breath knocked out of her, like landing parallel or perpendicular to the water, just kind of compressed on her.
Which I think is similar to what Jasmine did soon after.
But before actually Melinda, we had Steve did 2 at a time, which I believe in the instructions, like TJ said you can only do 1 at a time.
Yep.
But they never called him out for like DQing.
They didn't say anything.
And he didn't win.
He was the loser
But
for
they
the
did,
day.
In a confessional, somebody said something.
Yeah.
But TJ never said, like, hey, you're disqualified.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wasn't allowed to bring both of them back.
Well, okay, was that what it was?
Well, I mean, I'm just he didn't. I mean, he obviously knocked 2 down at once, but he only brought 1 back.
He said the problem was when he did it, he hit one way out further than the other one, and so he was like, that was a really stupid move. But I was like, I swear TJ said you can only do 1 at a time.
Yeah.
They want you to go up the trampolines a bunch.
Can we talk about Tina's jumping technique?
Well, first, no.
Why not? It was really funny.
Well, we're not there yet. We got 2 things before that. One, Woohoo song, which is Blur, which is, I believe it's just called song number 2 or something like that, which I don't know if you guys have ever heard it, but somebody did a version of that, but they replaced the Woohoo with Mario going, woo!
I'm unfamiliar with this song. So.
Oh, Jake, you know this song.
Yes, you do.
Jake,
Everybody knows this song.
Listen, I don't,
Because it started with that little guitar riff, and I was like, oh, I know this song within milliseconds.
Well, if you're going to play it, be sure to crank it.
Yeah.
That's Lego Luigi.
Oh, it's an ad. I don't want to play the ad. It's Blur Song 2 is the name. But here we go.
I like that little beat.
Good one.
Oh, I know this song.
Yeah.
I didn't know the name of it. Ring-a-ding-ding, ring-a-ding-ding. That's pretty good.
It's so stupid.
That's pretty good. Who came up with that, man?
There's no telling.
So yeah, they just play the rest of the song, but every time it does Wahoo, it's just Mario. And I'd already watched this and searched for it before, so while I was moving my mic, my stand came off the desk.
Yeah.
That's on you.
I didn't blame it on anybody else. I just was turning it. But yeah, they played that song in the middle of the... Again, just good song choices all around, which Blur may be a British band too. But they did that, and then before Tina, it started to rain. It was raining out there.
Yeah, because I just said to you, I was like, man, how long have they been out here? It looks like it's almost the end of the day, like the sun was setting, but then it started raining. I said, oh, I guess that's what it is.
Yeah, and then Tina jumps like a frog. Mm-hmm. Like once she jumped up and then fell back onto the previous one, but then she was just jumping like how you'd see like a big bullfrog jump up there. So Jasmine, we kind of alluded to, she gets hurt. Similar to Melinda, just kind of falling perpendicular to where you just like slam on your back or whatever. And
this is the mom lifting the car.
She said her kids, thinking of her kids, are what pulled her through it.
Yep. And then after she finished, TJ made like a whole announcement where he said, you know, I have to say I'm most proud of Jasmine.
Yeah.
Which, like, to go out of his way to be that nice.
He probably would have said, I'm least proud of Casey. But he didn't go that far.
He may have said it and they edited it out.
So Melinda and Steve are the losers. But Casey was only safe because she did one more jump than Melinda. Mm-hmm. And otherwise, Casey would have been the one to go in.
I still think it should have been Casey because she quit. Melinda didn't quit. She was forced to forcefully disqualified.
I get it.
Out of her
but-
will. Casey said she just wasn't going to do it anymore because she got mad that the rest of the house was cheering her on and encouraging her to finish.
She had tried a bunch. I mean, she just couldn't do it.
But she just got mad that for no reason.
You're going to be real mad when she makes that final hand.
So the winners are Darrell and Jody, which I was like, of course it is. Like that's who you'd have your money on in this one. And so after they leave kind of the daily, they get back to the house, and then you have Darrell and Brad, and then Jody all kind of start scheming together, and they kind of like absorb Jody into their alliance. And I was like, well, that's smart of her and smart of them. Like she's clearly the top female so far. Like one, I don't know, a few of the dailies and won an elimination at this point. And, the other one that I had my hopes for was who I drafted was Janelle, and she just really hasn't done much.
I mean, invisible.
Yeah.
Just nowhere.
Yeah, well,
nowhere to be
Kind of
seen.
in the background of some scenes.
They started showing her in the daily, and Zach was like, oh, maybe we'll get to see, what she can do. And, like, they immediately
She's part
cut.
of the montage that they cut short. Just kind of middle-of-the-road people. So, they scheme together. They kind of decide what they're going to do. We go to the nominations where Darrell and Jody have to figure out what's going on, and they already know somehow that Ion is going to save Tech. So I guess it wasn't just in a confessional. She seemed to have put that out there. And they want Tech to break up that alliance, and then they want Tina, because Tina's already thrown in Jody.
Yeah.
And obviously Tina's someone that is maybe her record isn't as good, but like she's one of the people a lot of the females in the show are afraid to go against. I don't know what her elimination record is, if I'm being totally honest.
Well, Zach, if you'll keep talking, I'll pull it up for you.
So they also throw in Iana to make her burn her life shield so she can't save Tech. She gets real mad about that. She's like, what a dirty move.
Well, when it's all said and done, they bring her and Brad
who have the life shields.
Because they have the life shields. They bring her down there, and she was really mad about it and said that she felt really disrespected and it was wrong that she didn't get to choose whether she used her life shield or not. And then Darrell just threw out, you guys put Jody in the same situation last elimination. And Jody was like, yep, I saved myself.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, that's just the name of the game, which Brad piped up. He said, I'm not even going to use my life shield.
Yeah. And Darrell was like, she's probably just mad that we didn't make Brad do anything. But he's like, obviously they're in alliance together.
Prior to All Stars, she was 3-1 in eliminations. Tina.
She was one of those that probably just didn't go into a lot of them.
Yeah.
Like, she's not Anissa with like 20 eliminations or anything at this point. But so I was like, with Iana, before she decided that, I was like, she's kind of all over the place. I was like, she might say like, I'm gonna save Tech
and then go myself,
just go against Melinda. But she didn't. So Casey is an alternate, and I was like, well, that's she can get mad about it, but it's the right choice. Like, save yourself.
She's well, Iana, even afterwards, goes back to the house and is still mad about it.
Yeah. She's
going off and she's like, is nobody else upset about this? And then she runs and tells Tina, she's like, it's now you or Casey that's going to be voted in. And then Tina just gives Casey a high five.
Yeah, they're like, all right, cool.
And Anna gets mad about that. She's like, you're not mad? Why aren't you mad? And which Tina's like, I know how the game works. Jody is the one that nominated the names, and I threw her in whenever. She's like, I know that we have beef, and I don't really have that many alliances in this house, so that's just how it is.
I do think at this point, Tina's still in the mindset of, I'm a changed person, like, I'm not what I used to be, and you know what, it's kind of fair play, whatever. I think she thought the vote would go Casey's way because Casey did bad in the daily.
Well, not because Casey did bad, because Casey quit.
Yes, but I mean,
that's not doing bad. There's a difference.
She did bad and then she quit.
Yes, but there's a difference between doing bad and quitting.
Okay. I think at this point she's still okay. She seemed level-headed. Like, she's like, oh, it's fine. Let's laugh about it. Melinda is then talking with Steve, and Melinda says she's gonna kind of let fate decide. She didn't want to pick, and Steve's like, "Well, I think I want Tech." And I was like, "I get it, like why you'd want Tech."
Yeah.
Which ironically, I mean, Tech gets upset afterwards, but at the beginning of this episode, Tech says that he wants to take on someone bigger than him.
I think he meant more of a threat in the game, which I don't think Steve is a long-term threat and to win or anything.
No, he was talking about the Brads or
Tech
Darrells.
was like, if I go in, I want to take out one of the big guys, like which again would have been Brad and Darrell.
Who would have beat Tech in this elimination?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they get down to the deliberation, and this is where I think Tina kind of starts to unravel a little bit.
Well, first of all, Tech didn't even defend himself.
Yeah, I mean, he's like, it is what it is. And so Tina tries to, hey, I'll keep you guys laughing, whatever. And then the vote went the way it did, and I think that's when she really started to like get upset. And
Well, she was surprised that some of the people voted for her over Casey.
yeah, that's what I said.
I mean, like, I think it was certain people she was like, oh, wow, okay.
I think she thought Casey was going to be the vote, and it wasn't even going to be close.
Mm-hmm.
And just because she's got a longer history in the game, she's been better at it than Casey.
Well, but what you are seeing bear out is something that Casey has spoken to numerous times on this season. She got a lot of relationships with people in this house.
She has the alliances this
People
season.
but yeah, I don't even think it's just an alliance thing. I think she's just friends with everybody.
Yeah.
I think people just like her.
And same like goes for Tyler. Like they didn't want Tyler to go in. They knew that he had enough friends that he was going to be
Same sort of
saved.
deal,
Yeah.
right? Like,
but Tyler's a much better competitor than Casey ever was.
Yes. But yeah, when Darrell talked with Brad and Jody earlier, he said that they wanted to use Tyler kind of as like a scapegoat.
Yeah, it was a misdirect.
But Darrell even said out loud, he said, I don't actually want Tyler to go in.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tyler would have probably beat Steve in this too. I mean, Steve beat himself ultimately, but So Nehemiah, Latarian, and Melinda are so upset at Steve that he wanted Tech, and like Latarian especially is really upset.
Like, I have a note. I don't know who's madder, Latarian or Tech.
Yeah, it's Latarian. I think he it was like he got so disrespected by that move. And
He took it like as a personal insult.
you know, they're the three kings, and they came for the kingdom.
Palace.
Wasn't the
Palace.
Okay, wasn't on The Walking Dead there was the kingdom?
Kingdom.
Yeah.
Ezekiel.
Oh yeah, it's a tiger. That's
Yeah.
the season I'm in right now, which I haven't finished. So we get back to the house. Tina takes the pans out, starts banging together. That's a Bad Girls Club move all the way.
Didn't Josh do this on Big Brother?
He did, but it was on Bad Girls Club way before that. I know that from The Soup because they used to show clips from everything. And she says, nice Tina is dead. And I was like, good. I was like, here we go. I was
Yeah.
like, this is what I want. This is why I picked her. This is what, you know. And, you know, they go back to the room, and she's talking with Melinda, and she's talking with Tyler. And she's just like, I really don't like what I'm becoming. I'm getting angry again. I was trying to leave all that in the past. And, like, it's really working me over, and I can feel myself getting to a place that I thought was, like, I didn't think I had to deal with anymore. And then Melinda offers her some green tea, and she
That
just kind of
seems to help a
she
little
kind of
bit.
laughs at it. She's like, that's not going to work. And then Tyler offers banana bread.
I think like the joking kind of helped her.
I think Melinda was being earnest with
I
want
think
some
so
green tea.
too, but I think it was just such a like
It broke
ludicrous
the
thing
tension.
for Tina that it just kind of like brought her down a level. Like, let's joke about this.
I feel like Tyler's was a joke. I feel like Melinda's was an earnest like offer, and Tina in her mind was like, "That's so stupid," but I'm gonna laugh at it. Because like Jake, if you were getting real upset, and I was like, "Hey, do you want some green tea? Will that work?" Like that's not gonna work.
You know what it makes me think of is when the episode of The Office, you'll like this reference.
I like all of the Office references.
The episode of The Office where Stanley yells at Michael.
Did I stutter?
Right.
Yeah.
And Michael goes to see Daryl. And, you know, basically what you do is sort of conflict, and Daryl gives him the whole, you just start tickling
Yeah,
him.
you have tickle
That's,
fights.
yeah.
If you're ever like about to be in a real fight, apparently like a psychological tactic. There's two different ways to do this. One is you just repeat your name at the assailant because it humanizes you. you try to get in their head that way. Like, my name is Jake. My name is Jake.
Stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
For real.
I know, but it just think about it. It sounds so stupid.
It takes them out of the moment for a second. There's actually three techniques. Another one is to say like a nonsense phrase that'll make them like sit down and like process like whoa, what's happening. And you'd be like, oh, there's bananas in your ears over there. And then, well, hold on. What? Like, their brain, like, subconsciously clicks. And, like, that doesn't even make sense. What is he trying to say? So it kind of takes them out of the moment. The third option, which is the most extreme, is to just get naked. Because people don't want to fight a naked person.
Right.
And so, like, those are the three, like, Jake, this is for you.
All of these
if
are
you're
so
ever
stupid.
in an escalation, just, my name's Jake.
And get naked.
And then get naked.
Get naked.
If you want. But those are real. Like, those are all, like, psychological de-escalation things.
Yeah.
So we get to the elimination. It's called Switchback. And I thought it was going to be one of those things where you had to have all three of your lights on and then all three of theirs off. And I was like, this is going to take forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the way they did it...
Like someone's going to die.
I think the way they did it took forever already. If
it was all yours on and all theirs off,
Yeah.
it would have been...
hours.
Yeah. Like,
Hours.
somebody's body would have just given up. But it's one of your lights on and all of theirs off. So it's kind of running back and forth. Things are fine. And then Tech just immediately levels Steve. I don't think Steve was
trucks him.
expecting that.
He wasn't. There's no way.
And so, like, Steve's thicker than Tech by far. But
he's probably got 50, 60 pounds on Tech.
he just, like,
Not more.
Just completely unaware that was even a possibility, I think.
Yeah.
And so the next time around, Steve returns the favor. And I was like, good, that's what he should do.
Yep.
I was surprised he wasn't wearing his gloves.
He had his fingers taped, though.
Did he?
It's a weird move.
Again,
He's got to protect them hands. That's his money makers.
It's not totally protecting them.
They're just kind of going back and forth for a while. And Steve just misses a button, just doesn't hit it. And
I've seen a lot of that this season.
it's just a mental lapse, and the crowd just yells, and then Tech wins. Like, that's it.
That's it.
And
They
Tech
were
did
pretty gassed at the end of it, though.
Yeah, Tech did have a really, like, it sounded respectful at the time, but it was, like, also very disrespectful.
Thank you for my first win.
Thank you for my first win.
Yeah. No, it was very. I took it as very underhanded.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's exactly. At first, I was like, oh, he's just congratulating him. I was
No.
like, oh, no.
No,
He's
he
not.
was cussing at him, too.
Yeah, but he like dialed it back, and like, in the heat of the moment, sometimes people like really explode, and then they'll be like, hey, you know what, good job, whatever. He was like, you know what, thank you for giving me my first win. It sounded sincere, but it was kind of a backhanded compliment. And then the girls get in there, and they're ready to go, and then Tina just quits. And
She just stands there and watches Melinda.
she said, I believe in the confessional, that she was ready to go, and then she looked at Melinda, and she's just like, it's just not worth it. I like Melinda. I'd rather she be here. I think, honestly, Tina didn't want to see herself become what she used to be on TV and have to sit through and watch that and have the people around. Because she's how long removed from the show at this point? At least 10
It was
years.
either 15.
She got kids now too, right?
She does not have
She
kids.
does not have
She's
kids.
She's talked
She-
about that. She's like, I don't have kids. I have a pool, and
Okay.
I just
Alright.
just living the dream.
Everybody
She-
talks about their kids on the show.
Yeah.
So.
She said it had been either 15 or 18 years.
Steve said 18.
Then it's been like 15 years or something.
15 would have been Fresh Meat 1. Was that her last season?
May have been.
It's been a long time.
I feel like she did another one after Fresh Meat 1, but maybe not. But regardless, she just I think ultimately, like, when you've been out of this for a long time and you kind of can feel yourself going back into that whole thing, because, like, again, like, the thing that I will always remember Tina for is punching Beth in the forehead and getting sent home.
Yeah.
Which they showed a clip of, and it was great.
Oh, and they also beeped out her calling someone anorexic.
DM.
Yeah, and that was one thing that in our psych group someone brought up. They're like, yeah, it was not the right thing to say, but we all like know what happened if you watch the season. Like, just Like, just let it happen and just say, like, hey, put a warning at the beginning. Like, obviously, we don't condone this or whatever. But anyway.
I wasn't mad about it. I mean, if it's a personal thing, she didn't want to fall back into old ways, and, like, I can't. I mean, as a viewer, right, you want to see competition, but if you're being real about this, like, I ain't mad at her for it.
I was a little disappointed, but
The duel was her last season.
When she was having the freak out in the house after the vote, and Melinda was trying to calm her down. She's like, what do you normally do to bring yourself back down? And she said, I don't know. I haven't done it in 15 years. I don't remember how to come back down.
Her last season aired the end of 2006, and it stopped in January of 2007, which means they probably filmed it 3 to 6 months before that. So she hasn't filmed a show like this since 2006.
So how is that 15 years?
15 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So
like that's the thing. If being in that environment puts you in such a toxic mindset that you've been 15 years removed from, and you feel yourself going back into it, because like she had the big blow up, slamming the pans together, and she said, once I come back here, I'm coming after all of you,
which is great TV.
I'm gonna make your life a living heck, la-di-da-di-da, I'm coming straight for you, Jody.
This great.
It's great TV. It was wonderful, but it's not the mindset that she wants to live in. She's been completely removed from it, and she doesn't want to be back in that place. And I understand that.
I 100% agree with that. And so whenever the elimination was done, I looked at Hannah and I said, I bet we'll never see her again.
Yes.
And so
Strap her in, boys.
Strap her in. Skip ahead if you don't want to know anything about All Stars 3. It's nothing spoiler related. It's just casting related. So skip ahead 30 seconds.
Wait, I need to leave the room.
No, you're not. No.
Please, I don't want to know. Please, I don't want to know.
Tina,
Whoa!
stop for real.
I'm not listening.
Yes, you are.
I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to listen.
You're answering
I don't
my
want
questions.
the spoiler. I don't want to know.
Stop.
I don't want to know.
Tina is on All Stars 3.
Why?
Exactly. And so I thought that was. I started thinking about it. I was like, I thought that was the case, and then I asked in our Slack group it was confirmed. I was like, okay, well, that makes this look weirder now,
but maybe now she's prepared for it.
I think that may be it. She didn't realize that it was going to be in, and maybe like the time between 2 and 3. She's like, okay, I've got to figure out how to deal with this pressure in that situation.
Or maybe it was Jody.
I don't know if Jody's on 3. I don't remember.
We all have that, right? Like, we all have that thing that we've struggled with, that we feel like we've overcome or whatever, and then
it's like a trigger.
There's a trigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
That you thought you had it dealt with, but then you get in this one situation, or you get in this one location or whatever, and it re-triggers it, right? So maybe now she's like, all right, now I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
I thought I could go back in and handle it.
I wasn't prepared.
But you don't know until you encounter that trigger again.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so I'm glad that she will be returning. I hope that we see her, obviously. But I was like, well, that makes this situation look a little weirder. But I guess she's probably went home and was like, I'm going to take this time to figure out what I need to do. And TJ is going to give her crap about it. He's already given her crap about it the first of this season.
Yeah.
Just like in general, calling her a loudmouth and all that stuff. And I think she'll take it in stride because she knows she's the one who quit on this. So anyway,
Melinda said it's not how she wanted
her first
elimination win, but a win is a win, and at the end of the day, you take it.
Yeah, I mean, I had Tina as my third pick in this draft, and sure did not see her going home against Melinda.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I don't know. So TJ's disappointed. Obviously, he doesn't like quitters. So Melinda and Tech have the life shields, and then Brad says,
"Good quote."
Okay, well,
you want me to say it?
Yeah, because I don't have a quote written down.
Oh, he said, "There's a cost to every move in this game, and I don't think anybody realizes
That's not at all what I was going to say. I was going to say Brad said he's never seen an alliance like announced so loudly as like Laterian and Nehemiah and Tech are making it out to be.
Oh yeah,
and which he was around in the Johnny Evan Kenny era, like that was always a known alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just because these guys didn't have a history together, and then all of a sudden they're like, we're together. They all did All Stars 1, But
that's it.
Yeah, they didn't really have a history before that. I like that group. I like all three of those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so they all bring different things. Like Nehemiah probably is the best all-around player. Latarian is definitely the strongest one. And then Tech's the wild card that's going to get naked at all. He'll never get in a fight.
He'll get naked.
Yeah.
He'll just get naked. That's going to be his strategy number one. That's the end of this episode. Superlatives.
Oh, man.
Who smashed some heads?
Well, I'm going to give it to Casey. You probably didn't see that one coming.
Didn't.
But she has been smashing enough heads that even after quitting,
she still wasn't the vote.
She's still, she's a fan favorite in the house. People love her.
Who smashed some heads? The Challenge House smashed Tina's head, so much so that she quit.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, it's just, there's a lot of things that went into that. I'll give it to Tech. He kind of took Steve on a blind side, and then with the backhanded compliment as he was leaving, and then Steve is, I'll see you in 18 years. I don't think Steve's gonna come back.
Nah.
He's busy making that hand modeling money.
Yeah. Great. Like for what a way to go out though. Like to come in, make such a power move to take out Derek, and then it could have gone a million different ways where he could have just been in and out, and we never saw him again. Mm-hmm. But I'll remember what he did in this season
for sure.
I'll remember his gloves too. So who got their head smashed?
Hannah. Casting spoilers.
Yeah.
All right, I accept it. I put Tech because somebody who was supposed to be in his alliance is the one that wanted him in, brought him in, and it was just a lot. Also, Latarian in a way, because I think he was more upset than even Tech.
I'm gonna give it to Tina. She, good Lord.
Uh-oh. Take you a drink, Han. Be careful.
Again,
my throat's real dry.
Like she just she went to a place she wasn't expecting, and it messed with her a lot, and the green tea couldn't fix it. And I could also alternately say me, because she's on my team, third pick, and I didn't expect this.
To be fair, we don't know that the green tea couldn't fix it.
It couldn't fix it.
Because she didn't try.
Well, we don't know that she didn't try either.
Well, it's not as bad as losing your number one pick in week 4, so.
Agreed. So shout out to Steve for that.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get it going.
Oh, man, here we go. We're jumping right into it, Zach.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
A shout out to our sponsor this week. Put you a shirt on, get wet.
Super Soaker.
Ayana opened the episode by saying, "Watch my booty go back and forth." 10 points.
I don't remember that.
I forgot she did say that.
Yeah. Tundra's back, 10 points. That is Tyler.
Yeah, I got it.
But
it said Tundra down there, or did you add that after I told you the name?
After you told me the name.
Oh, okay.
The universe is tapping on Melinda's shoulder. 5 points.
Oh man, I didn't know where Melinda was.
We got the 3 kings, Nehemiah, Latarian, and Tech, 10 points each. You got 2 of them, Zach.
I do have Nehemiah.
Man, I don't have
and
any of
Latarian.
them. I keep forgetting I don't have Nehemiah this season.
Give them all another 10 points because they're going to preserve and save the palace at all costs. 10 points to Tina because she ain't angry no more.
Well, that didn't last long.
We're going to give 20 points to Melinda. It's an honorary 20 for being strong. Agreed?
Yeah. I mean, again, like we talked about her whole thing. She didn't have to talk about that and get vulnerable, but she did.
Casey misses -5. We're at the daily.
Okay. I was like, Casey misses what?
She misses again, -5. And again, -5. And she quits, -15. TJ's already putting her on a plane, -10. Bad run for Casey here.
I mean, that's...
Yeah.
We're going to give MJ 10 points for the quote, "You can be a hero one day and a 0 the next day."
It was a good quote.
John A. misses, -5.
Oh, we're... Okay.
Tech doesn't know how to divide, -5.
Yeah.
Let's see. Steve got a double grab, but you supposedly can't do that, -10. Melinda misses, -5, is then DQ'd, -10, Not as much as quitting, but it's still negative points. We're going to give Tina negative 10 for the alternator, the modified trampoline jumps.
You give her negative 10. That's the same as
she's just like rolling. DQ'd. She's like rolling on the trampoline.
Hey,
use a trampoline.
You didn't. Did you give somebody
well, hold on, Zach.
negative points for bashing their balls on that beam in the first daily?
Well, I'm gonna get yeah, I actually did.
Did you?
Yeah. But TJ thinks it's funny. 5 points. So there you go. Negative 10 to Jasmine for the belly flop. According to her, every bit of her body is hurting. Negative 10. But mom mode is activated. 15 points. And TJ loves it. 15 points. Hey, Casey got lucky on this one. 5 points. Negative 25 to Steve. He's going straight in. And negative 25 to Melinda. She is going straight in. 25 and 15 to Darrell for winning and being safe. The same amount of points to Jody. We're also going to give Jody 5 points for the ice cream earrings.
Yeah.
Thought you'd appreciate that, Han.
I did. I talked to Zach about the ice cream earrings. I didn't realize until that confessional because beforehand they've been sideways. And so I thought they were just like silver long bars. Yeah, but they are, in fact, ice cream cones, which I love ice cream.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give negative 15 to Tina, Tyler, Ayanna, and Tech for being nominated.
Hold on. Tina.
Tyler.
Ayanna.
Yep. And Tech. Ayanna feels disrespected, negative 5, but she does use the life shield, so there's 15 points back.
Yeah, I was about to say we have it up here.
Yeah, it's when you use it on yourself, it's 15.
Yeah.
So you basically just get those points back.
Yep. It's a wash. Whoop, wrong one.
Let's see. Ayanna's lost her appetite. Negative 10. I like to eat. It's got to be a horrible thing to lose your appetite.
Yeah.
But Tina ain't mad. 5 points. Sad Melinda.
Well, does Casey not lose points here for being the replacement vote?
Oh, she does. That's right. Negative 15. Yeah.
Because she was put in instead of Ayanna.
I just missed that. That's on me. Sad Melinda. Negative 5. She feels like she let everybody down. 10 points to Tyler for the quote, "Life is full of shoulda, coulda, wouldas," which is true.
How many points?
10.
Oh, I did 5.
Nehemiah got a rat in his circle. Negative 5. Steve is the rat. Negative 5.
To Steve or to Nehemiah? Okay.
To Steve. We'll give Tech 10 points for the Marshawn Lynch reference.
Yep. Which didn't really make sense in the situation.
No, not really.
How many?
10 points. We're also going to give him 10 points for the quote, "You live in foul, bro." Nehemiah is loyal until the end. 10 points. We're big fans of loyalty around here.
Yeah.
Tina's getting mad. 5 points. We'll give 5 points to Tina for the quote, "This is supposed to be fun." But negative 25 to Tech and Tina. They're voted in. I'll give Tech 10 points for the quote, "You done effed up, bro." Hard.
Well, it was true.
Latarian is over the edge. Negative 5. He also said, I actually want to give Latarian 15 for this one. In reference, he was talking about Steve. He said, "I should have let Derek eat his effing A."
Okay.
So 15 to Latarian, and we'll give negative 5 to Steve for that reference. Tina's banging pots, 10 points. Nice Tina is dead, 15. She's going to blow all their spots, 10 points. Welcome Jody to the bad side, negative 5 to Jody. Let's see. John A's just in the back eating an apple, 5 points.
You know what they say.
Apple a day keeps the angry Tina away.
Yeah, well, Jasmine said, "I'm too old for this," expletive.
Which is a direct quote from Lethal Weapon.
10 points.
Danny Glover.
We'll give Melinda 10 points for offering Tina some green tea. Or, I'm sorry, 5 points. 5 points for offering the green tea. 5 points to Tyler for offering banana bread. As the elimination was getting started, John A. started raising the roof. 10 points. Tech said, I'm going to send the flying Hawaiian back to Hawaii. 10 points. Let's see. Tech just trucked him. 15 points. Negative 15 to Steve for getting trucked. But Steve's just running and smiling. 5 points. And now we're going to reverse those 15 pointers. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically a wash.
Yep.
And then Steve screwed up. Negative 10.
Yeah.
Tech wins 75. Steve loses negative 50. Tech with the quote, I'm nobody's B. 15 points.
Hey, are you, though?
No, I'm not. Nehemiah confirms it. 10 points to Nehemiah. We got Tech's first elimination win. That's 20 points.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
I will also give 10 to Tech for the quote. Just some real shade. Thank you, Steve, for my first win. Negative 10 to Steve. Let's see. I immediately gave Tina negative 20.
For quitting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
TJ's disappointed. An additional negative 10 to Tina. Mm-hmm. Melinda wins 75. Tina loses negative 50. But I'm going to give Tina 10 points back because this is a personal thing. So I can relate. Let's see. Another 20 points to Melinda for the first elimination win also. And an additional 20 to Tech and Melinda for the Life Shield. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are your fantasy points for the week. Brought to you by Put a Shirt On, Get Wet, Super Soaker. We'll be right back. And we're back. One more time. Quick shout out to our sponsor. Put on a shirt, get wet.
Super Soaker.
What we got going on, Zach?
Hold on. I gotta separate these. Here we go. We talked about Janelle hasn't really done much. I mean, honestly, Kendall's pretty much there too.
Same thing
this season.
Yeah.
So Darrell ended up with 40. Cohutta 0. Tyler with 10. Kendall with 0. John A negative 5, and then Jasmine with 35. So for the week, Hannah ended up with 80 points.
Not bad, Han.
Not bad.
It's all right.
It's better than negative.
Yeah.
Brad 0. Nehemiah got 35. Tina ended up with negative 55.
Not bad considering.
Not bad.
She lost 50 for the elimination and then 20 for quitting the elimination. So negative 55. Latarian got 30. Janelle 0. And then Ayana ended up with negative 5. So I ended up with just 5 points for the week.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's better than negative.
It's true.
Jody got 40. MJ 10. Casey negative 50. Tech ended up with 155, though.
That's got to be the highest score of the season, right?
I don't remember. Steve ended up with negative 120.
Oh, God.
And Melinda ended up with 100. So for the week, you ended up with 135.
It's a good week.
Just because you had both elimination winners.
It's a good week.
And only one of the elimination losers. If you would have had Tina as well, it would have brought you down significantly. Yeah, Hannah's still in third place with 200 total points. I am now in second with 445, and Jake, you snuck into first with 460.
And that's losing my first pick, too.
Yeah, but again, you had both elimination winners this week. That swings it real big.
Yeah. It's tight.
Now, I wouldn't count on Tech and Melinda winning eliminations going forward.
I agree, but I'll take it where I can get it.
Yeah. I mean, I've got to make some changes, but Hannah's lost 2, I've lost 3, and Jake, you've lost 2. Oh, you lost 3. So
I've lost 3.
Yeah, sorry. That's what it was. Because I have to go in here and change this because I forgot to last week. Let me do this. Eliminated, and then Steve. Yeah, I think this one's obviously much closer. Brad had a huge week for me last week, and then 0 this week. Right. And I think I've got to think like Cohutta and Kendall and Janelle and some of these people are gonna start scoring more.
Yeah.
You gotta have the early storylines to kind of prop up these eliminations and things like that going forward. And so they just didn't have anything to do with it. But like I said, top of the show, new Survivor pod will drop on Patreon exclusive tomorrow. We're watching Survivor 28. We all like Survivor a lot.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good show.
Yeah.
It's different. But I think it's still
it's a change of pace.
It's a really good show, and obviously I would say most of our audience probably watches Survivor already. We're the ones that are late to the party, even though I did watch the first couple seasons back in the day. I just haven't watched it since then. So check that out if that's something you're interested in. And SmashingHeadsPodcast.com/store is all of our merch. And if you always look in our show notes and you see a P.O. box, I'm not doing the P.O. box anymore. It's just not worth it, to be honest. So I took that out of the show notes, so that's not in there anymore. But if you really are inclined to send something to us, just get in touch with us. We'll figure something out. Yeah.
1 week to Christmas.
Mm-hmm. Well, not quite.
This is your last shot to order Nipple Boys duvet to surprise someone for Christmas.
It's true.
For a gift.
You're going to have to get on Threadless's. Just go to SmashingHeadsPodcast.com/store. They have dates that they say you have to order by to guarantee holiday delivery. So don't count on Hannah for that, because I don't know what the cutoff is. And I don't believe you do either. Yeah,
nope.
So
I don't have a clue, but give them my fair warnings.
Go check that out.
For those of you that are needing them.
Those of you that needs them. And we will be back with you for the finale. I'm assuming the final actual episode of Spies, Lies, and Allies later this week. And again, All Stars, it's good. It's just they just do everything right. Mm-hmm. It's a great season.
So much better.
We'll be back with you next week.
Have a good night, everyone.